walls talk back and windows cry. Boundaries drawn under heavy skies. In the space between the set and scene lies a story that cuts unclean. Hold the ties that thread and tangle tight. Diplomatic dances in the cold moonlight. A step misplaced and the stage does sway. Persona non grata carried far away. Persona non grata carried far away.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Don't give up your day job. Garrett, I know where you live. Don't forget, I know where you live. Don't push your luck, buddy. Y'all know I can't sing. I've always said I can't sing. I said I can't sing. That's the sad part about it. I love music, but I can't sing. Got no voice. Now, I can do a country voice. I can do a country voice when I sing. Maybe I should sing country music. But that would be cool. All right, welcome back to the program, folks. A late start on this Sunday. So I was interviewed. That conversation took 2 hours and 10 minutes earlier. Whew, it's a long one. I have the digits, so I will be releasing aspects of that on my channel. I've got permission from the person who interviewed me. So I'll probably do a few snippets here and there. But anyway, so welcome back. It's Sunday. Usually we play Giselle's Plek and Dishonor, but didn't quite get to that with the Rasul portion there. So, folks, let me tell you something here, okay? In the interview I just did was talking unrelated to South Africa. It was related to things that I do and also the nature of social media and also the flattening of time and space when it comes to sovereignty of states, which their sovereignty is under threat by social media and by people's ability to create narratives that go very quickly. Protect yourself. Use good operational security. So this morning is a good example. So I received a threat. Someone threatened my life again today. This person is not mentally balanced. They're not very well. And they're threatened other people as a consequence of threatening me. Be careful what you say and do online, okay? People target people. Also been sent screenshots where people purporting to be EFF members have threatened the lives of South Africans because they're talking in chat groups. So just be very circumspect about that. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, I anticipated this. That is why I did not allow my refugee groups to have anyone comment in them, okay? I was asked to make refugee groups. I did it, but I banned content. Only person that can, it's push only. You can't interact. You can only receive. You cannot send data. And that was intentional because I anticipated people lurking in the group to look in there, to identify people, to harass you. That's why I did. That's what we call vision. That's what leaders think about. They think about the potential branches and sequels and directions where things can go and where they can get all cocked up. So that is why when people come in here, I get pissed off when people say your group. No, my group has nobody commenting in it. The 2 WhatsApp groups I made were just simply information for those interested in this program as it became available and my analysis of the events. You cannot comment in there. That was to protect you. Also, people don't like the constant bickering that some people do in WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups. That's why those groups are push only. No one can comment in them. Some people don't like that. Well, that's too bad. If you don't like it, then hit the road, Jack. If you don't like this content, find something else to listen to. The internet is full of things to listen to. You can go listen to Tom McDonald. You can go listen to Benny Johnson. You can go listen to, I don't know, Pofu Walsh, whoever you want to listen to. You can listen to the Hustler's Corner, whatever you want to listen to. You're welcome to do that. But here, we try to make things a little bit lighthearted at times, but we do bring you serious news. We do eviscerate the fake news by legacy media and also bigots and racists we introduce all the time, which is ironic because the person who keeps attacking me keeps calling me a racist and distorting what I've said and taking things out of context and completely ignoring all the things I do that promote everybody and protect everybody's culture. But that's what people who are demented and have mental illness do. It's what they do. It's their MO, their modus operandi. So they try to rubbish you. But anyone that actually knows me knows it's all bullshit. And anybody actually watches my content knows it's all bullshit. Some people have short, attention spans. But anyway, welcome back to the program. Just wanted to share that really quick. So just be careful what you say online. And by the way, if you're using a username and it's your personal name, that's your prerogative. You can use that. But you can change your username in YouTube. And people do that, especially trolls. They do that to try to slip by the guardians. But I've got some good moderators that are spanking people. So if you get spanked, you feel unwarranted, relax. It may have been interpreted incorrectly, but my moderators are not putting up with shit anymore. We're not putting up with this crap anymore. We've had enough of it. All right. These racists, these bigots, these hate wankers, these disinformation, misinformation clowns are going to get smacked and PK'd and moored and pushed out of the chat. So, just get over yourselves. And if it hurts your feelings because you felt you were illegitimately hurt, then, let me know. Send me an email and I'll look into it and we'll take a look at it. But most of these people are just frauds. Okay. So just be careful. All right, so Arctic is here, Gerard, Sai, Lindy, have a nice Sunday, okay? Van is here, Vlam to USA. Everyone craving some good news. Depressed. Madeline, Julie, Martin, Georgina, Christo, Jacqueline, Arctic, okay. Sheep, Wooly, Peter Wick, Rolinda, Marcel. I'm not going to recognize everybody in the chat here. I just look to see if there's anything that people are calling out my attention or questions here. It's a Sunday. Okay. Like I said, that's all before we get started. There's Graham Kelly. We normally on Sunday play Giselle's Plekken de Zona. We didn't do that today. People can respect the Colonel because he goes above me on. You agree, gives us likes and some. I'm not sure what Peter's saying, but thank you. I think that was good. Okay. And there's a salute from Christo. Thank you for that, Christo. Jan van Driel. Okay. Okay. Everybody's switching off Afrikaans today. Wow, we got an Afrikaans crowd here. Okay. And to be clear, for those who don't appreciate what's going on, this is a global audience, and I'm grateful for that. There are people from the United States in here. There's a few people from Canada who pop in here. We have people from Ireland coming in occasionally. Several people from the UK frequently here. It's about 5% of my audience, actually. And then we've also got people from Australia, New Zealand, China, Japan who pop in here. It's really exciting. And yes, a lot of them are expatriate South Africans, but not all of them. A lot of them are Americans or Kiwis or even only one or two Japanese popped in here occasionally. But it's also men and women, although the predominant percentage tends to be men, but there are women here. And then also it's a black, white, and brown crowd. We have people of all faiths in here. There are Muslims watching this program. There are Christians watching this program. And I know there are Jews watching this program. There are a lot of colored folks in the chat. Several people you find out they're colored. I had no idea they're colored. Why would I know? It's a username. They're chatting. How would I possibly discern someone's skin color based on their comments? Unless they use, colloquialisms that are affected by certain groups and are created by certain groups. But it's a very diverse and mixed crowd. And I thank everybody for being here. And I think that's a reflection of what we do here. It's we don't pick friends. We like everybody except leftists, except communists, except socialists. We don't care for them. We don't cotton to those people. Anyway, Connie loves pencils. Again, one of my favorite usernames. I love that one. It's great. Hey, Fleshin's in here. Welcome to you. I mean, look, if I can be friends with Fleshin, I can be friends with anybody. This guy is a Welshman, but he's also got ancestry that's very confusing for a Welshman living in England. He's really living in a difficult situation. I mean, a Welshman in Oxford? Come on, man. That's just cray-cray. Poor dude is really confused. He really feels Welsh, though. But he's not in Wales. And he's got interesting ethnic background. Anyway, so I can be friends with Flesh, and I can be friends with anybody, man. Come on. All right, what else we got here? All right, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Google today, and I can't find any reports of photos of home invasions where white people got hurt or worse. Personally, know people who happened to. Home invasions or farm murders? Which you talking about, Lindy, or both? I can personally attest to people who've lost family members in farms. That I can. I don't have contact with people who told me their homes are broken into. I know one person whose home was invaded. They stole my stuff. They stole my wine. They recovered it, but I know personally. For the one who lives in Centurion, the home was broken into in an upscale guarded neighborhood. Yep, stole all the crap out of their house. Yep, so I can attest to that. I can attest to that. Okay, what else? Fleshton says, I have no Welsh stand without a polling song. What a polling song. You can't cancel us? Oh, my goodness. That's it. Fleshton's banned. We won't comply. Resistance is futile. We are the Borg. We are the leftists. Resistance is futile. I am Locutus. Oh, my goodness. What was that going to rain? What? Oh, goodness. Fleshing is great unless the Welsh are playing rugby. They just ignore them. You wrote Welch. They're not Welch. They're Welsh. Welch is what you do when you don't pay someone on a debt you owe them. You Welch on it. What's up with Brockpan? Who's in Brockpan? Even like Welshmen living in the Soviet Oblast of Oxford with Chinese ancestry. I wasn't going to tell people about your Chinese ancestry, brother. Yeah, Fleshton's got Chinese ancestry. You wouldn't know it. My dentist grandmother is from Ghana. She is blacker than this black hair. She is very dark skinned. He looks white. His children are half Taiwanese. They look pretty white. Dude's grandma, not his great grandma, not 15 generations ago. His grandma is a black Ghanaian woman. He goes to Ghana. That's why he likes my program. He watches the program. How's it going, Randy? I don't know if he's watching today. He's probably pulling teeth right now. I feel bad for people. Maybe he's filling a cavity. I don't know. But yeah, my dentist, who actually the first person I had a relationship with a dentist, actually talked to my dentist because the ones in the Army, you get a different person all the time. Anyway, but my dentist, he goes to Ghana. It was so funny. He went to Ghana and he's at this dinner table at a family gathering. And a couple people are like, oh, what's the white doing here? What's the white dude doing here? And his grandmother spoke up and said, hush your mouth. He's family. And they're like, you can just imagine, family? How's he family? That dude's like white as driven snow. They didn't say that, but it's like, that's my grandson. And then, you can see the wheels spin in their head. Adopted grandson? No, that's by birth. By blood. That's her grandson. And she's black, very black. Anyway, people need to get over themselves and their bigotry and racism. Anyway, so Mike says people with a chip on their shoulders they're unbelievable. What's with Chris Smith and the Blue Bulls? Congratulations, the Bulls. A raucous win yesterday. Everyone else failed miserably. Boy, the Lions were an embarrassment. The Stormers were also embarrassing. Yep. And the Sharks was unfortunate. What is this? The other channel has people on it? Let me see. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Got a good audience over there. Cool. What's the size of the tents? Shelter halves Heidi. You get one half, another person gets another half, so it's just long enough for a person that's 6 feet long to sit in. You got about this much space to turn inside the tent. Three Wongs don't make that's not funny. A white. That's not even funny. Okay. What is Elizabeth saying? What happens? There was one video which is pure disinfluence, getting a lot of views, mentions AfriForum. It's on the YouTube channel, Democracy Now! Sorry to hear about your death threat. Also at 122. It doesn't, this is an idiot who needs to be punished by law enforcement for his criminal actions, his threats. Yeah, and he's listening right now, so hopefully he can hear. He hasn't got his hand engorged on his penis. Yep. How serious is the immigration thing? Not serious at all. We're not asking for immigrants. Are you asking about the PJ Bodyworks about refugee program? Yeah, there's a refugee program. It's very serious. The State Department has already sent the PRM people over to do preliminary interviews and gather information to get a feel for what awaits them when they open it up. Very serious. The United States spends $2.7 billion per year resettling refugees. Now, the refugee program was suspended globally on January 20th owing to widespread fraud by the Biden administration violating refugee law. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1980 governs this, and the Biden regime violated the law and brought millions of people in here who had no business being in this country as refugees and asylum seekers, which is total BS. So the Trump administration executive order froze the program. However, on February 7th, owing to the actions of whiny crybaby politicians in South Africa who sought attention, claiming that they were being oppressed when Donald Trump suspended foreign aid to the entire world on January 20th, they decided to take it personally and make a big stink about it. So Trump decided to let them have it personally. And he decided because their actions and their lies about America, that it would just be a permanent ban. South Africa gets no more financial aid. Now, that's not permanent. Things change. But, that's what he said. No more. You're done. Done and dusted. And, oh, by the way, since you're oppressing these people, from our perspective, we're going to let these people come in as refugee status, even though they're not refugees. Yeah, so the refugee program is real. But when it comes into effect, who knows? It's up to the State Department, Homeland Security. I can tell you historically what we've done in the program, 30 to 150,000 refugees per year from around the world. There are currently 7.6 million registered refugees in UN camps in Africa, in places like Chad, in Uganda, in Kenya, fleeing from Somalia, South Sudan, and from Sudan, Darfur. Yeah, so that's 7.6 million people ahead of you in the queue. But with Donald Trump's executive order, the people that will be defined by it have jumped the queue, and they're not tied. It could start at any time, or it could be months down the road. We don't know. But it has nothing to do with the January 20th date. It supersedes that. But people don't seem to get that. They get one piece of information, they run with it. Ooh, shiny object. No. Partial information, folks. You got to do proper analysis. Anyway. So, yeah, to answer your question there, it's real, but it's not immigration. You're not immigrating. Get that out of your head. So, to all the people over the world, me and my husband get threatened every day of our lives and our business. I don't doubt it, Rihanna. Sorry to hear. Okay, thank you for that, Cinderella. Stinky the Squid. In real life, push to scrap the pencil test is awesome. Who is white, color black, and how do you measure it? Yeah, exactly. How do you measure it? Yeah, Krista says those bad rugby games brought some of us closer together. Yeah, I tell you, I didn't really want to finish that game yesterday, but I did it because the audience asked me to. It was 70% in favor, so I stuck around. Yep. Saw a clip where they were gathered at a Tesla shop when asked by the interviewer, not one of them knew what they were demonstrating about. Yeah, exactly. It's like the gentleman came out here yesterday or whenever it was and it's like, capitalism. Like, dude, what is capitalism? Define capitalism. You don't even know what it is. And you hate it? Why? Because someone told you to hate it? Maybe you should hate the people you're telling you to hate things. That'd be like telling me I should hate color people. Why should I hate color people? Because they're different. So? I'm taller than most people. Should I hate people who are short? That's dumb. Why would I hate colored people? That's just ridiculous. Can't hate people based on the color of skin. That's only the domain of racists. And people make threats against my life. It's the interview. Oh, did you like the Ike interview? Cool. Glad you liked it. That was completely unscripted, folks. I should call that unscripted. I said uncut, I think it was, or unfiltered. What did I call that? Uncut, unfiltered? No, I didn't call it that. Yeah, I put it on the screen. Yeah, no, I was going to call it unfiltered. Yep. Dan Bailey's in from Wyoming. Dan, what's the word, man? Jason Barnard, what's your feel and how long it would take? Look, Jason, I have no basis to make a feel. I could have created this program already, but then I'm a know-it-all, so I could be wrong. But I could have. So, for instance, the frequently asked questions that the embassy finally provided. I mean, they didn't provide that until almost 6 weeks after this was announced by the president. I answered those questions the night that it happened, within 2 hours of the president issuing his executive order. And then I did a video with the 14 most frequently asked questions. I just picked a number at random. I didn't want to do 13. People don't like 13. I didn't want to do 10. That's too obvious. So I picked the ones that were mostly asked or the ones I thought were most important. And I made a video 3 days after the executive order is announced. And, so I don't know, Jason. I have no idea when it's going to happen. No idea. Yeah. But anyway, Boiling Frog loves my channel. You're very welcome, Boiling Frog. Yeah, of course, the program will happen. Yep. Possible answer to the situation is unprecedented. Yeah, exactly. It's an unprecedented situation. Yep. And South Africa is just constantly changing. I mean, who expected to see all these politicians in South Africa just lie about the program and lie about Trump's order and claim that Trump is attacking South Africa? There's been nothing done to South Africa. Nothing whatsoever. People are getting accosted in Neisner? I didn't know that. What's up with the tariffs in Canada? I see Trump's plan for the future, and I'm glad for his vision. What's up with the Trump? Well, they've been applied. Or they will be applied on the 2nd of April, so... You're coming to Pennsylvania. Okay. Have I talked about the IRS No More Race Laws initiative? I have not, Stinky the Squid. Well, if you had a real government in South Africa, the EFF would be getting rounded up right now. They're making terroristic threats against people on social media, and these are bases to arrest people to prevent harm. But that's not happening in South Africa. That's a little bit scary in the fact that they're doing that. You just read a leak the USA was sponsoring $2.3 billion on. That's not a leak, Alta. That's news I've already reported. It's not a leak. It's a matter of record. It's just that the South African media finally caught on to it. They're trying to portray it as if they got the inside information. When the aid was stopped, and included that. If you go to the foreign aid assistance site, which is a matter of public record, you can see every program that's listed on there and every dollar amount that the U.S. gives to these entities in South Africa. And you can see medical research on there. Now, all the newspaper did is they give you the total, the percentage, 70%. So that is something I didn't know. That's actually news. I didn't know that we paid for, the American taxpayer, 70% of all medical research in South Africa. I'm not surprised, but I didn't know the figure. So now we got the figure. So, yep. Susanna making her voice thick at the 4-track remind me. What are you talking about, Corey? Last night we met a few U.S. cops who left the U.S. after Trump became top. Man, why are they now in Australia? All right, looks like Thunder is a troll. Thunder's a troll. Are you in Australia, Thunder? Lots of Americans live abroad. What is your point? I was going to live in New Zealand or Germany. What's your point? Why would I leave the U.S. and New Zealand? Why would I leave the U.S. for Germany? Because I like those places and I wanted to live there. So what's your point? It's nothing to do with Trump. You're okay. Watch for Thunder here, mods. See what he's saying. Yeah, homeless people threatening to murder you. That's unbelievable. Well, PJ Bodyworks, you're going to have to ask the DA why they behave the way they do. Krista says, Chris. Chris what? Philip Camper at our church. The doors get locked because of robbery. The robbers took all the cell phones and money of the people, and we're not the only church. Yeah, it happens a lot, Philip. Justin liked the Ike interview. When flying from Cape Town, the USA, which airport did you fly into? Why are you asking that question, Marsh Schneeman? Why are you asking? What's your question about? What's behind that question? I've flown from Europe to Africa. I've flown from the States to Africa. I've flown multiple ways, multiple times. Cape Town, Joburg. I don't understand your question. When do you arrest? Says TNT. Well, it's not. I'm not just here. Last night I went to a fundraiser and I spent 3 hours at a fundraiser. Then I came back here and I took a short break and published a video, and then I did live streaming. Then I went to bed and I got up and I wound up postponing an interview and went live, and then I was interviewed for 2 hours, and then I'm doing this, and when I'm done, I've got prep for tomorrow for consulting. When do I rest? When do I sleep? Who knows? What happened to Roman? Roman works for John Steenhuisen. What do you mean? He's his chief of staff. Yeah, what happened to him? He's also doing videos again now, too. Okay, what else? I never dislike anyone when I meet them. I watch them and make a judgment from day to day. Mostly people are okay. That's true. CB's here. Welcome. How far is that document from earlier? Did you manage? No, I didn't. I haven't had time, MCM. It's right here, sitting here on my studio desk. I haven't had time. Haven't gotten to it. I'm trying to just think about how I'm going to deliver it to people. I think I'll put it in the refugee groups, so that'll force you to join one of them. I need to put a header on it too. Unofficial courtesy format of information could potentially be asked. This is not official, something like that. Because otherwise people start passing around, call it fake news. There's enough of that nonsense going on. Oh, we got some super chats here I got to get to. Found myself a Southern girl before I'm in the South. Book FEMA tents. Nice is a hotspot for stealing white kids and young teens for 20 years on the street daytime shops. For stealing from or for human trafficking them, Jan? Okay, thank you so much for voicing immense concerns. Thank you, Jean-Andre Jacobs. We as citizens already felt the impact of the fund cut, especially in the parts of the medical field. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Sheep. What's your opinion of the AfriForum going to international court about hate speech? Are they doing that? Or are you asking me if they should do it? Joel Pollack proposed something that I thought about, but I didn't dare propose it because I'll get maliciously attacked. Joel Pollack suggested that Israel take South Africa to the International Court of Justice for its human rights abuses. I don't know what's going on in South Africa's military attaché in New York. I have no evidence, no confirmation. I have no source. I can't prove the provenance of that. I did see a tweet from colleague Creel making that claim. Also, someone else made the claim, but I have no evidence of that whatsoever, Luke. None. I don't know what reason we would have for sending the military attaché out of the country. Doesn't really serve any purpose unless he was up to something inappropriate. Maybe he got caught, drunk and driving, or maybe killed somebody. Who knows? In a traffic accident. I don't know. I don't even know it's true. But I heard that it was mentioned a couple places. One of them being Sightlanders. Look, I need to make something very clear here. People are sending me stuff about the Sightlanders. That's Gustav Müller. It's not the Sightlanders Civil Defense Organization, which is Venant du Toy. So there's a difference. They used to be one organization. They've split into two organizations. Gustav Müller has his own thing, and Venant du Toy is working on civil defense. So that's two separate things. And that was attributed to Gustav Müller. I saw the video. It was a long video, so I couldn't listen to all of it. Too much Afrikaans. They're wearing Australian uniforms. Okay, Thunder, what do you mean? So you have American police in Australia wearing Australian uniforms? That doesn't make any sense. They're wearing Australian police uniforms? There's American military that go to Darwin. The Marines have a rotating base of personnel. That's an agreement we made a few years back. But I can't comment on it because I don't have any basis for what you're saying. So Thunder, please explain where you're coming from. That be cut off for applications. Belinda, I don't think so because the basis for what they do is just put you in the queue. We only take so many people per year. We in the queue, pull this person, and we go back. It's time to pull more people. We check with them. Are you okay? What's going on? So the only reason there would be a cutoff is if the circumstances change. And do you really think that the ANC is going to remove 140 race-based laws? Do you really think the ANC is going to prosecute people for their hate speech or for the violence? Or I don't think that's going to happen. So unless that happens, the basis for changing it isn't there. I'm going to Pennsylvania. Okay. Thank you, Badland. Pokel's Vint Runner. 70 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. Okay, Candace, welcome to you. Vlam 2 USA. Come on, people. Match me. 35 Rand. There you go. That's 2. Okay. Garth is in from PE. Johan, welcome to you. It's really sad. My friend at work has HIV. I'm so sad for him. The meds are really expensive. Yeah, they are. I know, Madeline, because we've been paying for them. I'm so sorry to hear your friend has HIV. That's unfortunate. Hopefully the CD4 count stays high. A lot of people don't need to be on medication. Just because you have HIV doesn't mean you need antiretrovirals. You only need to take antiretrovirals when your CD4 count drops below the recommended level, which at one time used to be 400. Then they changed it to 200. Then it changed to 300. I don't know what the current level is. I suspect it's probably 300. But yeah, Kevin Bannister, thank you for your 35 Rand super sticker. Thank you so much. And who else we got here? Okay, thank you, Betty. 700 to 1500 one way. Jess says, please look after yourself. Oh, I do. I do. Thank you. Look after my health. Don't worry. I get sufficient sleep. Sleep is overrated. You don't need as much as you think you do. You don't need as much as you think you do. Altruism says, Colonel, maybe read out the questions so we know what you're talking about. Well, sure. I'll tell you what. I'll do it right now. I'll read out the questions right now. That's a good idea. Why haven't I thought of that before? Why haven't I thought about that before? You know what would be really clever of me if I actually made a video reading out those questions that people were asked in that second preliminary interview. That's not it. That's that. Okay. That'd be a really good idea, don't you think? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should make a video that talks about those questions. You know? What do you guys think? Should I make a video? I'll tell you what. Give me a second here. I'm going to go make a video about this, okay? Don't go anywhere. I'm going to go make a video that answers those questions, reads out those questions. Are you ready for this? Okay, give me a minute. It's going to take a second, but I'm going to go through a wormhole, and I'm going to go through time and space, and I'm going to collapse time and space from this down to this, and then slide through. I'm going to make this video, and I'll be right back. So don't leave. Don't go anywhere, folks. Don't go anywhere. All right. Oh, there's more super chats. Let me get those first. So Rohan99 ran. Thank you for that. Then we've got Lewis. What is Michael? My hang on. Where's it at? Come on. Where's my? Come on. Where is the darn alert box? There it is. Alert box is off. And then we got 140 rand from Lewis. Thank you for that. Okay. So that's a good idea. I'm gonna make that video. You ready? Give me a second. I'll be off screen for just a minute and I'll be right back. Okay? Fair enough? I'm gonna go make this video. You ready? Hey folks, welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. This is the third update from an embassy interview related to the U.S. Refugee Resettlement Program offer for Afrikaners in South Africa. You have to pardon me, it's raining out here. I'm standing in the rain to bring this story to you. So this is a person who went back for a second interview and they asked more specific questions. Again, this is a preliminary. This was not an application for refugee resettlement, but just some of the questions to give you an idea what to expect when you go in for one of these interviews, okay? So this is more detailed than the previous two because they're looking more deeply. These are the sort of pointed questions you would get in a refugee resettlement interview if you were in a camp in Chad or in Kenya or in Uganda. This is the sort of thing you could expect. So the embassy staff themselves asked a question this time, so maybe they've been asked to follow up and select cases just to get better feel for what's going on. This was a rather long information gathering session, according to the person, my source. And they warned them at the beginning. They said, be careful of scams and that this is free. There's no cost because the embassy now finally, it appears, is acutely aware that scamsters are out there and hucksters are trying to take advantage of people interested in this program. And they're warning you that it's free and beware of hucksters, which is what I've been warning you since February 7th. It's good to see the embassy is finally jumping on board. They were also advised that at this time, there may be a problem with funding. And that's not a surprise. If there are hundreds of thousands of people, that's going to take a lot of money. Again, what I said here is that typically the International Organization of Migration can offer to pay for your flight. What they're warning people, I think they're just trying to be cautious, as that's the same feeling that the person interviewed had, is they're just trying to tell you up front that, you know, if a bunch of people come to this program, we may have funding in the current fiscal year to deal with this. So just be prepared for that. So if you've got any money, you might want to save it if you wind up in this program, just in case you have to pay up front for the travel. But normally that is taken care of, and then you reimburse someone. Now, they got the impression that they were just trying to give potential applicants realistic expectations of what to encounter here. So that's kind of what this was all about, you know, so that you're not worried about money.
The magnesium in your cabinet is not only filled with heavy metals, but it also can be making your...
Damn it! Ruined my whole thing. Damn it! Stupid commercials. Now I know why you guys are upset about commercials. Stuck it right in my video. Damn it! Damn it, Jim, who put the commercial in there. Anyway, yes, I went back to the year 1589 to record that video. All right, so, you know, not to be sarcastic, here's the link to that video. Guys, you've got to watch my content. That was kind of the sarcasm there. I've already made that video. Man. Went and stood in the rain. That was cold rain too, man. It was a few days ago. It was like 38 degrees. Now it's 80 yesterday. It's crazy. Yes, I know, Rihanna, but I know. Rihanna, you're talking about these forms. You're talking about these, all right? Those forms were made from that video. Okay, these forms are what my moderator came up with from listening to my video. So that's a dedication to my moderators. My moderator went to the trouble to listen to the video and then write down all the things I said and make a format. He or she made notes. So yeah, but I'm not going to read that right now. I have got news to get to. I haven't even started on it. So Bertie van Antwerpen, welcome to you. Jan Vollenhoven, we need a video tutorial on how to set up FEMA tent. Well, actually, I'm considering going to Bass Pro Shop this afternoon to record some footage of tents. I mean, seriously, I'm considering going there. I haven't been there in ages. I'm thinking about going across the Susquehanna River to the east side and going to the Bass Pro Shops and, walk around and record there. I've done it before. I did it at Cabela's. So I'm thinking about that. Hey, Jacques Meyer, welcome to you. When something is done in kind, for instances, funds, there is a mentality that you're going to give them the rest of your life. Yep. Guys, just one question. If I say we have to pay to go to America, how will we do it? I'm a small business owner. I really day-to-day paying salaries and kids. That's not just... Bossy Bossman, I've covered this already. Normally, that's not the case, but if there's an over-subscription to the program and there aren't insufficient funds and Congress doesn't allocate it, then you would have to come up with it on your own. And there are lots of ways to do that. Sell your stuff, GoFundMe accounts, find some rich friends. I mean, people are getting overly concerned about things that aren't even in play yet. I would suggest that people just chill and wait to find out what actually happens, okay? And then worry about that problem. In the meantime, if you can squirrel away a few rand here, a few rand there, a few rand here, then do it. You were in Ronaldo's video. Did you that interview on News of Africa talking about DA and they'll pass? Huh? I have no idea what you're writing here. Your sentence to me. You were in Ronaldo's video. What video? Did you that interview on Newsroom Africa talking about the DA said they'll pass the bat if they walk back EWC? I'm guessing, Lindy, what you're saying is Ronaldo showed a video on his stream. I was in the video because someone took a clip of what I said about the DA said they'll walk back, they'll approve the VAT if the EWC goes away. I did talk about it yesterday. And then some ANC guy said the DA is redressing. You mean regressing? I'm sorry, Lindy. I mean, you mean well, but I can't follow your what you're saying there. How do you do it from 38 degrees is hot now? How the hell do you get to 80 degrees? No, 38 degrees is just about freezing. 80 degrees is hot. It's not unbearably hot, but it's hot. Well, it's crazy. I mean, that's crazy weather. That's a wild swing. We haven't had those swings of late, but that just came out of the blue. Minneapolis, Shawnee Groves had told me 2 days prior, she says it's 80 degrees in Minneapolis. I mean, that's weird. It's springtime. It shouldn't be 80 degrees. And that weather system came across from the Plain States in Minnesota, yeah, for sure, came to Pennsylvania. It came here to the Pennsylvania Dutch, and it made us all hotter than hell, hotter than HE double hockey sticks. Yeah, no, it was uncomfortable. It was kind of feucht, humid too. So it was a very big swing. But I was standing in the rain in shorts, and then I was standing outside in shorts too when it was hot. Ricardo Bazadenheit gave 5 super chat or memberships. Thank you for that. And then Courtney's here. Hey, Courtney's got jet lag. I'll bet you just back from Japan. How's it going, man? That's, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, make sure you're straight on that. It's not Celsius. Yeah, I didn't go fishing. Yeah, you'd like that Bass Pro Shop. Well, they got tons of stuff. I go there for the licorice and occasionally for clothes, like find shirts and stuff that are on sale. Yeah. Can't cancel all of us. That's right. Connie loves pencils. Yeah, we can help each other like real Afrikaners should do. Exactly, Madeline. So, Bossy Bossman, I would not lose any sleep, man. Yeah, people are on the sauce tonight, and they're getting their messages removed. Oh, Ronaldo showed this. Okay, when did he put that up? 2:17. Okay. Let me see what it is. DA's support. Oh, did Newsroom Africa use me again? Oh my goodness. I'm zipping through it. 3 minutes. 4 minutes. 6 minutes. 7 minutes. 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't see myself in it. Did they mention me? Someone says the DA's never been for the poor anyway. Really? The jobs aren't being created for the wealthy. They're trying to create them for the poor. So, yeah, you showed that video. Yeah, that's from Newsroom Africa. Newsroom Africa's latest hobby is watching my content and using it. That's fine. Oh, they're just talking about it. Okay, thank you, Ronaldo. Bridger says only original licorice is good. Well, no licorice is good, you know. You should only eat pop and flies. Any phone in the U.S. been prepping in Botswana, Rubio in Botswana for moving against that? No, I don't have any information on that. There's no U.S. base in Botswana. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of that story. I lived in Botswana. I was in the military. I was on every military installation in Botswana that Botswana has. There is no U.S. base there. There never has been a U.S. base there. I doubt we'll ever have a U.S. base there. This is a fantasy of people in South Africa. I don't know why. I don't know why. People in Botswana don't say that, you know. So I don't know what the fantasy is. Oh my goodness. It's in the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group. You know, keep saying it's in the WhatsApp group, Funk. There are billions of WhatsApp group. Which one are you talking about? All right, so. Hi, Chris. Appreciate all the info, says Fiona. Thank you for the 7 or 50 minute super chat, Fiona. Ronaldo, how'd your stream go? You had a bunch of people in there in your stream. How'd it go? I'm dealing with people threatening me once again over here, threatening me physical harm. Not in the chat. These are the hate wankers that are sending me threatening messages. How big is your yard? Not that big, Altruism. Might need military protection. Maybe if there were a base, there are certain individuals would think 3 times for making comment. No, they wouldn't think. They wouldn't think. All right, it was cool. Great crowd. That's awesome here, Ronaldo. Good to see you here tonight. You skinflint. I see you're not super chatting me. No, I didn't super chat you. I was in your show earlier too. Yeah, but I'm serious about my hamster. Garrett has given me a couple of hamsters. I have also what do they call those things? Not a guinea pig. What's the other ones there? Can't remember what they're called. Anyway, yeah. Oh, there's David Delport says, good afternoon. Shout out to Mr. Musk for bringing back the stranded astronauts. Yeah, incredible work. He was able to achieve what some countries could not. Media never amplified good. No. And they're attacking Elon Musk. He rescued their astronauts that Joe Biden stranded in space for 10 months. He brought them back. I'll send you the message I received about the WhatsApp. Okay, thank you, Leandra. I appreciate that. Look, I understand there was a message purportedly coming from Sightlanders group with Gustav Müller that was talking about that. I mean, maybe someone misrepresented. And there's also people talking about this thing somewhere else. But I mean, thank you, Louis, for the 14 rand. There's no base there. That's nonsense. Oh, I'd love to talk to. Oh, you mean Eben? What, Eben Barlow? Okay. Drove in Botswana for 8 months working on their cell phone network towers, and there's no U.S. military base at all. Thank you, Bram. Thank you so much. This all stems from the fact that the Americans helped Botswana build the Tebe Patso Air Base for Botswana's air arm. We did. There's no secret to that. There was funding. It was publicly available. Not gerbils. It's the other ones. They're little chinchilla. That's what I was thinking of. Flesh and chinchillas. Please see my super chat, says 360. Okay. Didn't know you were going live after me. Otherwise, I would have redirected. No worries, Ronaldo. So what I did, Ronaldo, is I was interviewed for over 2 hours. It was supposed to be an hour interview, and the podcast, which is kind of a big podcast here in the States, talked to me for 2 hours. So about an hour and 40 minutes of content there, an hour and 45. So I ran over my start time, which actually worked out well because I was supposed to have Ike Kumalo on at 6, but Ike was confused by my message and came on at 6 a.m., not 6 p.m. So I did Ike Kumalo this morning, and he was on the stream, surprised the hell out of everybody, and it was unscripted. He came on, and I'd never talked to him other than a couple messages on WhatsApp, and we chatted, and we did it unfiltered. So because I didn't have Ike, I didn't have to start on time with the news, and I was delayed. But I saw, as you usually do, you have a Sunday program. I didn't want to interfere with your program, so I pushed this as late as I could. I waited half an hour because I've got other stuff I got to do today. I can't let they get away from me. I've got consulting tomorrow, so I'm going to be out of hide. So I didn't want to interfere with your program, so I just went ahead and put up. I didn't announce I was having a stream, and so that's why you didn't know I was coming on. So, and also I didn't want to go in your chat 30 minutes before your chat ended and say, hey, I'm going to my show, and that's bad form. It's different if I'm starting in 5 or 10 minutes and you're at the end of your show, but I didn't want to do that, so that's just bad form. All right. just know that they can be tracked, especially when they're subscribed to a channel. But YouTube won't do anything, PK. They won't do anything. So, but others will. So between the Colonel and America, I'm writing a 20-page paper. I decided to stop it. I have all social links and previous passport in the file. Okay. Yeah, chinchillas. That's what I was thinking of, CB. Somebody's mowing already. It's only March 30th, and people are mowing. I've got spring onions because I need to fertilize my lawn. The soil's poor quality. I have to fertilize it every year, and as a consequence, spring onions are growing up. So I have to go out and put a bunch of fertilizer out. So, did you at least manage to get your tax? Nope, Syncmaster, I haven't even started my taxes. All I did was rearrange some paperwork and go through the file and make sure I had the income, the earned income, from salaries and commissions and things like that, and retirement, and then also my dividends and my interest income. I sorted it all out. So please do it, bud. No issue to share your content with my channel. The point is that we get the message out. Yeah, no, it's no problem, Ronaldo. That's just how I've always been. I never step on other people's toes if I can avoid it. Doge is the best thing any new administration can do to smear the previous administration. Very clever. Transparency should always be a high priority. Well, it's not about smearing the previous administration. It's about fixing the problem in America. Nothing to do with Joe Biden. We don't care about Joe Biden. He's a painful afterthought. He's relegated to the dustbin of history, which is where he belongs. Chinchillas are fussy animals, but they're cute little buggers. Expropriate. Yeah. Kavangatrong. Yeah, he wants me to expropriate Ronaldo's channel. I already expropriated Morning Shot. It's already mine. It's mine. It's all mine. I already took over Morning Shot, folks. In case you missed that, yesterday on Morning Shot, Byron Shepard gets interviewed by moi. I interviewed Byron Shepard. So next, I'm going to expropriate the Hustler's Corner and Pofu Walsh's channel. Just kidding. Steve says, here, time for coffee and biscuits. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Can you share more info on that? And not yet. More info on what, Ronaldo? I missed what that was. Sorry. Is that to me or somebody else? What info do you want me to share on? And Rihanna is a big fan of Ronaldo. Rihanna, man. Oh, she's a huge Caribbean singer. All right, I never did get to the mail, so the news. Both atheists. What a buzz. Cool. Ha ha ha. Flux capacitor. That's good. We're both atheists. Yeah, what a buzz. Bzzz, gotcha. That's a funny one, man. That's a dad joke. That's a dad joke. All right. I like Morning Shot. He's all right. Well, which Morning Shot? Oops. Is my internet gone? What's going on here? Well, my internet's still live. YouTube tab crashing again. No what? No, I'm not live? Be right back. Away from keyboard. Hugo Basson's away from keyboard. All right, so the news, which I want to get to, I put a lot of time and effort to it. A deal is possible. The ANC have resumed budget negotiations as the deadline looms. Will they reach a deal? Your Morning Shot. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Must be Starlink. No, it's not Elon Musk. Right. It's Multinet. Yeah, it's YouTube. It's just something with YouTube. And it's not just my channel, folks. It's happening in a lot of different ways. The Ike interview this morning was super great. Thanks for that. You're welcome, G9. Yeah, if you listen to the ANC and MK, the UN's going to be landing. The UN doesn't have an army. I always get a kick out of it. The United Nations Army. There's no United Nations Army. It's only comprised of people who are authorized under UN peacekeeping mission from the Security Council and then willing nations who send troops. Unless the U.S. pays for it, there is no peacekeeping. Oh, my goodness. All right, so just a couple news items. Won't go through all of them. Skynet, that's right. A deal is possible. Check it out. Deliberations between negotiating teams from ANC and DA on the budget continued on Sunday after the parties impasse on Friday seemed to imperil the coalition. Well, that's because the negotiations resumed because the ANC isn't going to make a deal with the EFF, and MK said no deal. So they have no choice, or they'll have no budget, and they'll have to cease operations, presumably. I don't know. We have continuing resolutions. Yep. No, they're not going to get rid of BE. So the refugee program won't go away, most likely. The question is how many people take advantage of it. And then, so that was published 4 hours ago, but 14 hours ago, City Press from the same network, Network 24, Says the GNU is on the brink of collapse as budget crisis deepens. Look at this. That is a little bit of extremist promotion there. Look, it's Siviwe Garuba, the education minister, along with John Steenhuisen and Cyril. The government of national unity is on the verge of collapse after the ANC refused to yield to the DA's request for greater control of the country's economic policy. But we just saw 4 hours ago that, in fact, they are back on track. Who do you believe? Zelensky decided to slap you in the face again and made out that the help already offered wasn't a loan but a donation. No, actually, I don't know what that means, I report on this. I said, much to my chagrin, when those monies were being dispersed, I was frustrated because I was calling it out and I want to say, why are we giving money to Ukraine? But I had to temper that and say, why are we giving money and loan guarantees to Ukraine? Because a lot of it was loans. Much of it was loans. There was some outright grants, but much of the money that we gave Ukraine was a loan. And I said that at the time over the past 3 years. And it kind of pissed me off because if it had been all grants, I could have screamed from the rooftops about why are we giving $200 billion to Ukraine to a corrupt government? Why are we giving them grants? Only part of it was grants. Most of it was in the form of loans. And now they want to welch on the loans. I don't think so. Wish I explained naysayers how amazing it is to live in a first world country. I changed from an anxiety-ridden wreck to a positive, always smiling, says Heidi. Yeah, no, it's people shouldn't live under fear. But black, white, and brown South Africans often live under fear. Except for the wokies. The wokies are running around in a bubble, hanging out at their cricket clubs and their elite wineries and vineyards and hanging out in Santon City and going shopping, at Canal Walk and going shopping at Menlyn, well, Menlyn's not so upscale these days. It's kind of gone downhill, but you get the point. Living in a bubble. ANC is unconcerned about possible U.S. sanctions on its leaders. They are paying attention now. Of course, that guy who has no content, that all he does is steal content from Ronaldo and me and then attacks us. That guy took my content and claimed I threatened the government of South Africa. Never did any such thing. I said, you want sanctions? There are sanctions. Friends and family only, buddy. You keep it up. There are all kinds of things the United States government can do to you. I'm not calling for that. I said I'm heartbroken that it's come to this. I wish adults would step in the room. My conversation with Bantu Holomisa. It's ironic. It seems the more black South Africans I talk to, the more these racists attack me. Not the black South Africans, but these hate wankers, these leftists come after me. Why does China have such great infrastructure? Well, Michael Holmes, I would argue that they don't have great infrastructure. China has amazing cities along the coast, but you go 50 miles inland, 80 kilometers, and it's all a very different story. There are some big cities with great infrastructure, but much of the country still looks like the 13th century. It's just a facade. It's a Potemkin village. Potemkin village. You put up the big facade there. Ooh, look at China. It's so amazing. Go 50 kilometers in. Oh my gosh. Are they pulling people in donkey carts? They are. Yep. So I don't think they have great infrastructure. Certainly not for all 1.6 billion people. And is it challenging the economic oligarchy? Well, there's no oligarchy. So what economic oligarchy are you talking about? There is no such thing. China is a mercantilist state that fleeces resources from less developed countries and produces products and ships it back to them. They're the very thing that the people complain about neocolonialism are ignoring. They are neocolonialist. The fact that the Chinese don't impose alien governments because they undermine them from within, the fact they don't impose alien governments doesn't mean they're not colonial. They're neo-colonial. That's what China is. It's a mercantilist state, buying platinum and coal and diamonds from South Africa and sending you back cell phones, cars, clothing. The benefication of all of that production in the industrial sector should be in South Africa. You once upon a time, just 20 years ago, had a clothing sector in which 80% of the clothing was made in South Africa. Now it's barely 20%. It's all coming from Asia. Now, it's not just China. It's also the expiration of the multi-fiber agreement. By the way, for the hate wanker, do you even know what the multi-fiber agreement is? I love having these idiots threaten my life that have no intellectual capacity to discuss actual things like this, real insightful things. But the multi-fiber agreement expiring around 2004, 2006, I forget the exact date, had a devastating, I think it was 2006, had a devastating impact on the textile industry in South Africa. And it's something completely forgotten about by analysts and also by hate wankers. So, yeah, you also used to produce 90% of the shoes in South Africa were produced in South Africa. You didn't import them. Now you produce almost new. You have Freedom of Movements, Fellies and a few other brands, but most of your shoes are imported because of the government allowing it to happen. Have I seen what China's done? Steve Newbold, I have lived in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia. Yes, I've seen what China's done in Africa. They've done some wonderful things. They've also done some atrocious things. You have to talk about something specific. They've also colonized Africa. There's over 1 million, 2 million Chinese living in Africa right now, far exceeding the entire Western European population that's there. Shout out to Hendo, Arctic. Thanks for the efforts. We appreciate it. Well, Debbie as well. And we appreciate your efforts on the something in groups. Okay, cool. The live streaming groups. Thank you for that. Appreciate the 35 Rand, folk. Until Chris, I would like to 50 go back to Kasane again. The rainy season will not go to Arapa because diamond mining. Bram, I'm not sure what you're getting at there, but Kasane, the rainy season is nice. I've been there in the rainy and the dry season. I've never been. Oh, actually, I have been to Arapa. I'm sorry, I did. I went to the mine one time. I was going to say I've never been there, but I've been there. If the takeover and see by them came. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on April 4th. People are talking about a lot of things. We'll see. I'm sharing sheep wool. Okay. Oh, shearing sheep wool. I thought that said sharing. Shearing. Gotcha. Okay. Trump's waiting for the world to see the ANC for what it is. Could be. Actually, indirectly in clothing, textiles. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, proudly South African, made in China. Yep. Saskia guy, where in Liberia did you live, Chris? My husband lives in Bomey Hills. Saskia, I lived in Mamba Point, where the embassy's at, embassy compound. I lived adjacent to the embassy compound in a high-rise called Wellington Towers, owned by some Lebanese dude. So, I had a big apartment, but it was nothing special. All right. Okay, so the ANC is unconcerned about possible sanctions on its leaders. Okay. Despite potential sanctions, the risk to AGOA, the ANC remains committed to diplomatic engagement with the U.S. But they're not. Every time they say that, then one of their idiots opens their mouth. Fikile Mabalula, Zikalala, Ramaphosa himself, then the opposition clowns like Joseph Malema, they open their mouths and say stupid things. And so they're not really committed to it. They're not really committed to this relationship. If they were committed to this relationship, they wouldn't have attacked America and they wouldn't be in the boat they're in. They would have had to wait 90 days and then the aid could have resumed. Meantime, court cases could have kept the money flowing as it's happening to many countries around the world. But no, the ANC had to open their mouth and make themselves special when they weren't special. So they brought it on themselves. What can South Africa do to make the economy create jobs meaningfully? Well, scrap BE today. Allocate money to train police legitimately, do background checks on police and get rid of those who are criminals and incompetent, overweight, and unable to do the job, and invest in the police. Take them to firing ranges, teach them discipline, teach them the actual law that they have to enforce. That would be a good start. And start prosecuting criminals. Clear the log and get rid of these criminals. And start prosecuting and convicting high-level politicians of the corruption they're involved in. You need to send a deterrence to people, a signal. That overnight you can change things. All right? Also, end all restrictions on electricity distribution. Allow anybody who can produce electricity to produce a plant that meets standards and produce transmission lines that meet standards and allow them to provide electricity. Case closed. Stop these windmills that were started by Andre de Ruyter of alternative energy and start burning coal. Burn, baby, burn. Provide electricity 365 days a year, guaranteed safe, consistent flow of 220 volts, 50 cycle electricity to the economy and watch it flourish. Those are the starts, Michael. I could go on for hours of all the things that could be done. Lots of little things, easy to fix. South Africa is easy to fix. It's broken because they want it to be broken, politicians. Do you think they might have some serious problems behind closed door? That's the only thing that makes sense of how they are pushing the theory. No, I don't, Van. I don't think they do. I think they're paying back a debt that they owe to Tehran. And short of that, they're just being arrogant because it suits their desires and needs. All right, Select Puppet Colonel just killed claims regarding the elusive and fictitious U.S.-based Botswana self-proclaimed South African subject matter love to push the narrative. It's in the hope of sounding... Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to it. It's nonsense. I love how I actually served in Botswana as a commissioned officer, as a lieutenant colonel, and worked with the Botswana Defense Force on a daily basis, and have been to all the bases, and have provided training for BDF, and helped them redesign their intelligence. And yet that people in South Africa don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, tell me, you know what you're talking about. There's a base in Botswana. Okay, look, if you want to believe that, you can believe it. There's a lot of delusional people around this world. Believe what you want to believe. I can only tell you what the truth is. I don't know about this thing about preparing a base there. Why would we prepare a base? We don't need a base. If we need a base, we just ask Botswana, can we use Tebe Patswa? Can we use Gaborone International Airport? Can we land there? We have military flights that land those places. We do military cooperation. We have military flights that land at Waterkloof. Not recently, but yeah. We do military cooperation with South Africa as well. I think, Marissa, a lot of people in South Africa really don't know. Do you think they might have some... Okay, that's where is that? Okay. Trump suggesting he could run for a third term? Huh. Okay, let's see what this is. I'm going to listen to it. I haven't heard this. This is completely caught cold by this. Let's see what Trump says.
Republican president ever. Not even Trump. Almost 40% of the vote. Now, I won't be happy the next time. Should I run again? You tell me. There's your controversy right there. There's your controversy. You'll be seeing that you're gonna see that tonight, Tim, on television. I want to thank any Republican president.
Trump is trolling. He's having fun. Relax. He can't serve as president. He served his 2 terms. That's the end of it. That's the end of the game. The Constitution would have to be amended. There's no possibility the Constitution be amended. It takes 3/4 of states. 20 states are controlled by demon rats, and there's no way it could happen. So, and it wouldn't happen in the time frame anyway. Trump will not be president. He will leave. He knows that. He's trolling people. He'll be 82. He'll be doing something else. So he's just having fun. They're going to lose their minds. That's all they'll talk about in the talk shows. Trump is undemocratic. He'll never leave office. He left office last time, didn't he? He'll leave this time. Tenderpreneurs, coal and transport tenders. Yeah, well, you have to deal with the gangsters too. Juju insulted America, Trump and Elon. Oh, he didn't insult them, Culinary. He threatened the life of President Trump. That's the Secret Service is taking that quite seriously. Yeah, the earth is flat, apparently. And Juju is so yesterday. Exactly. So is the EFF. They're so yesterday. Johan Rudolph, good evening to you. Hey, Ken, what's going on, man? Good to see you there. Okay, jumping in the chat. ANCs really have a problem accepting the fact that they're not the ones making all decisions. Exactly. And not just domestically. Domestically, because of the government of national unity, they can't just make wild-ass decisions, but it's also internationally. They're making decisions internationally. They're just stupid. Trump is trolling. Exactly what he's doing. The ANC also announced to refuse to withdraw the genocide case. Well, it's fine, Jules, because there's no merit to it. It's a waste of time and money. It's fine from my perspective. If the ANC wants to spend your tax dollars pursuing a case that has no merit, I can't stop them. There's no merit to the case. What's happening in Gaza does not meet the legal definition from the international community of what a genocide is. Done and dusted. Just like what's happening with the murder of farmers doesn't meet the definition of genocide in South Africa. It doesn't. It doesn't. So, it just doesn't work that way. So that hurts people's feelings, but that's reality. Now, the right will attack me for saying that, and the left will ignore that I just said it. So, but it's a fact. But that doesn't undermine the horrors and the domestic terrorism that's going on in the farming areas. Yep. Yeah, Air Force One landed at Waterkloof when he came from Mandela's funeral. Yep. There's been social media chat regarding the 4th of April. Yeah, there's a lot of it going on. People need to be careful what they say when they think no one can find them. Exactly, PK, including those who threaten your life. Yeah. Watch the first color 9mm footage, Germany's footage 45 in Torgau. Yeah, sure. Send me the link. I'll watch it if I have time. Yeah, thank you, Johan, for the interview with Ike. So, anyway, the ANC says invariably in that conversation we did have an extensive discussion on the flurry of executive orders coming out of the U.S. Yeah, but the flurry of executive orders don't affect South Africa. See how misleading? So, okay, ANC appears nonchalant about the prospect that some of its leaders could face sanctions by a hostile Trump administration. Trump has not been hostile to South Africa so far. The ANC has been hostile to America. Nonetheless, the party still wants to repair the relationship between South Africa and the U.S., which ANC National Executive Committee member and Electricity Minister Kojisenso Ramakopa admits is the worst state it has been in since the end of apartheid. The ANC-NAC has been meeting at the Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg this weekend. According to Ramakopa, they had an extensive engagement on the international balance of forces. Since Donald Trump's return to the White House in January, the U.S. has had South Africa in its crosshairs, fueled by disinformation about terrible things being done to Afrikaner farmers and the right-wing conspiracy theory of white genocide. There is no right-wing conspiracy theory of white genocide. It's a fiction of the media. You see who's talking about it? News 24. None of us are talking about it. And right-wing conspiracy theory, no, it's your conspiracy theory that you've made up. And terrible disinformation, there's no disinformation. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nope, Trump issued an executive order cutting aid to South Africa and offering Afrikaner farmers resettlement. Yeah, that's all he did. That's it. They can't state one other thing Trump did. There's nothing here. Nothing. Because he's not pressuring South Africa. It's just a fantasy of the left. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says the Kill the Boer song is so yesterday. Well, it is. Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. Okay, well, first off, he's not the Secretary General. Secretary General of what? Secretary General runs the United Nations. He's not the United Nations Secretary General. ANC Secretary General. So this is wrong. This is poor editing. Whoever the editor is for this article for Kamerho Moshela needs to be a better editor, and he needs a better job as a journalist. He's not the Secretary General. He's the ANC Secretary General. Are you telling us that the IOL is an organ of the African National Congress? You don't have to tell people that you're talking about the ANC Secretary General? Other parties have Secretary Generals. He is the Secretary General of the African National Congress and nothing more. Secretary General Fikile Mbalula said that the party will not chant the provocative Kill the Boer song, as there was no need to use it in the current political landscape. Well, of course not. It's racist, so why would you use it? As the ANC, we don't think that slogan is relevant to the course of the present moment. Well, it's never relevant. We wouldn't chant that slogan, neither will we actually water it down, because when we chant that slogan, it's a particular meaning about guerrillas across Limpopo coming back home. Anyway, so they're trying to downplay the Kill the Boer song until the issue goes away, and then they'll start singing it again. But it has no merit, so it's just ignored. Yeah, at least for now. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, at least for now. Okay. Yeah, and then he shared it so that F guy, they're all liars, okay? Thank you, Thunder, for $20. Have a beer on me. Okay, Thunder. I thought maybe you were trolling earlier. What's going on? And this is a story people are talking about. U.S. cuts defense ties to South Africa. This is not exactly news, but it's made the news on March 30th, today. Memo dated 13 March directs that in accordance with executive orders signed by Trump, all foreign aid and assistance offered to South Africa be suspended. Well, that's you don't need a memo. That's in the executive order from the 7th of February. So the 13th of March just gives instructions about it. But somebody here violated the Espionage Act and shared this memorandum, and they should be prosecuted for it. The memorandum dated 13 March is from the Department of State and is directed to Aaron Harding, the Chief Financial Officer at America's Defense Security Cooperation Agency, which is any Department of Defense. It directs that they stop funding programs for South Africa. And the 4 programs we talk about here specifically are International Military and Education, or what we know as IMET. That's how we provide training for foreign military. And it's grant money. We give the money to countries. They decide which course they want to go to, and then we use the money to pay for it. Foreign military financing, that is where we give grants to countries like South Africa so they can buy spare parts for the C-130s, or they can buy, Zodiac boats, or they can, buy rifles or pistol belts, whatever. And South Africa doesn't get any FMF to my knowledge. And then there's foreign military sales, which would be parts from commercial providers that are approved by the State Department for sale overseas. Defense terms, they make military hardware. Direct purchase. And then now you pay for that with your own money, foreign military sales. And then there's bilateral, multilateral peacekeeping operations. So let me give you an example of foreign military sales. So Nigeria bought the Super Tucano plane. They bought it to do counterinsurgency and counter Boko Haram stuff. So they wanted the Super Tucano, but it's manufactured in Brazil. But they didn't want to buy it from Brazil. They wanted to buy it from America. We didn't manufacture the Super Tucano. It's a Brazilian plane. So why would the Nigerians want to purchase it from America and not from Brazil, since the Brazilians designed it and they built it? I'll tell you why. Because when you buy under the Foreign Military Sales Program or Foreign Military Financing Program, you get a contract that is executed by the U.S. military. The FMF program specifically. We execute the program. So we acquire the material and we get it to you. And we provide the spares through that program, everything. So it's all taken care of. It's one-stop shopping. If you buy arms from an arms manufacturer directly and they shortchange you, they cheat you, your only recourse is to sue them. If you buy it through a government-funded program in which we funnel those things to you through those programs, then you get the full support of the government. And we threaten the providers who don't fall, and they lose their licenses to export arms, to operate, and they don't want to do that, so they'll comply. So you get much more protection. So that's why Nigeria wanted to buy the Super Tucanos from an FMF case or an FMS case from us rather than buying it from Embraer or whoever makes the damn things. So a company in Florida that assembles aircraft got a contract and the rights to build the Super Tucano in America. And they built them. They built the Super Tucano for the Nigerians, and it was sent through a contract, and that's how they got it. And so they've got all their logistical support, they've got their training updates, all that's done through the case. They wouldn't have got that directly or would have had to pay more for it or would have had no recourse if the Brazilian company had reneged on them. Does that make sense? Essentially how court cases, a magistrate can rule one way, high court can rule another way, and then appeal in the court. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. I asked to send an email on a matter for some advice, and you suggest to send an email found under about. Oh, Pokles, did you find the email? Or okay, what about it? Okay, it's the first time I see a message from you here. You gave a super chat earlier. So, is that Van super? Oh, no, it's Thunder. Okay. So, Pokles, I don't understand. What's your question? Do you have a question? Did you send me an email? Or do you not know the email? If the question is you don't know the email or you couldn't find it from the About tab, I'll make it easier on you. Since I have a moment to do that now, I will put the email into the chat. Does that help? I'm not sure what you're asking. People, I mean, I can't read minds. You're giving, oh boy, it's 50 memberships. Wow. Okay. I can't read minds, so you have to give me some information. Fire poles. Yeah. What about fire poles, Charles? Okay. They actually condone discriminated but call for freedom. Yeah. You're right, Earl. Okay, Joel Pollack just tweeted. So did he tweet or is it on Politics Web? So let's go to Joel Pollack and see what he's got to say. Joel Pollack. Okay, Joel Pollack. Well, what was that? That was about Phil. Oh, it's Herman Mashab again. Ugh, Herman Mashab is... So... Legal team to fight. Oh, he's okay. He's just he's tweeting the politics.web. Okay. Yeah. So Civil Rights Organization After Reform officially instructed its legal team this morning to investigate various international platforms. Okay, that's from 3 days ago. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, they've pissed off Joel Pollack. He didn't get the ambassadorship, so he's just going to come after them. Yeah, he's a bigger threat to you than I am. You should put your focus on Joel Pollack and leave me alone, the haters. All I do is tell the truth. Joel Pollack has got an objective here to make you pay. Joel interview was great. Seemed he listened to you. What Joel interview? I didn't interview Joel Pollack. New York Times interview, Ananda. Okay, so 360 sent me an email. Hang on. Hang on. I've received 3 emails since I last looked here, and none of them look to be about that. Oh, here it is. Oh. Okay. It says an attached email, but there are no emails attached here. So I have your message, but there's no attachments to it. So it attaches an email. Oh, okay. Email. I thought it was a document. Sorry. But all right. I will read that later on. I'm not going to answer that here. It's your personal situation. Okay. I actually brought up the point that Iran is rumored to fund ANC. It was edited out of the video. Farrell said that ANC had reported all donations. No. Jan van Driel, I reported on that over a year ago. My suspicion that happened. Oh, you're talking about when he was interviewed on SABC. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I didn't see the interview. Okay, I didn't see the interview. Yeah, no, that's not real news when they edit stuff out. I mean, unless Joe Pollock said something that's demonstrably false, if that's his opinion, that's his opinion. They could put a little banner inside. This is the guest opinion. There's no evidence of it. Yeah, no, that's just wrong. Remove it. Oh, Ken thought my interview with Byron was top class. Thank you for that, Ken. Not everybody thought so. Most people did. It was really well received, and it was doing pretty well. It's ironic that I do the video and it's outperforming my video. No. Yikes. Okay, 360-46. Yeah, okay, I see it. Way too vocal. He even said in a business news interview that Congress don't take it lightly when potential bastards talk too much before being elected. Well, maybe he's talking about himself. I don't know, man. Steve says, thanks for the membership. I don't know who gave it. Someone just donated them. We got a whole bunch. Speaking of which, let's take a look at how many members we've got now. Because a bunch of people just... What's this? Oh, okay. Memberships. Okay. We are now at almost 1,400 subscribers. Wow. That's crazy. I don't know how long that'll last. A lot of these people are gifted memberships and they're not paying for it. So anyway, we're approaching 66,000 subscribers too. Okay. People are always sensitive, Sai. Van gave 50. Was it Van that gave 50 memberships? Thank you for that, Van. 50 memberships. Appreciate it. Thunder, thank you for the $20. Have a beer on me. I appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he was nominated or if I was nominated. I doubt that I was nominated. 100. Okay, I thought he did 50 earlier too. Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you for that. Oh, he's on YouTube talking about the song, is he? Hang on. Let me see. Yep, he is.
Friend Nova in the passenger seat. I got my dad, my sister, and my mom behind me in the truck. And we are literally 5 minutes away from the restaurant. We're driving in the dark. It's lots of trees and it's dark out. And all of a sudden, fucking boom! I'm like, what the fuck? Something huge came out of a tree and fucking wham! Flew right into our window shield. And I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck? I'm like, I gotta turn around and see what that was. So we turn around.
All right, Tom's got the F-bombs going left and right here. Sorry about that, folks, if you got kids in the room. I didn't know that was coming.
I get out of the truck, and I go walking over, and there's this duck on the side of the road. And this duck had flown out of this tree straight into the window shield of our car. Oh, man, this is not a fun story. And this duck was very, very injured.
You think?
I had a blanket in the back of my truck, so we wrapped.
You think he was very, very injured, dude? Come on, Tom. Of course he was freaking wiped out. He hit your truck. That's just crazy. All right, so that's Tom McDonald. He went duck hunting, yeah, with his truck. Yeah, I get the face tattoos. I don't like tattoos at all. You guys know that. I don't like tattoos. Not my cup of tea. We give it around 250 this month, says Van. It's not the point, just supporting the channel because of the effort to get fact. Well, thank you so much for it, Van. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, he did tattoo his eyelids, David. Yep. No, I haven't heard Joe Black's new song. Her name is Afrikaans. Wow, is that good? I wonder if I get a copyright strike for that. Is it on the internet? Look for Joe Black. No, I haven't seen anything for Joe Black in donkey years. Oh, stupid adverts. Yeah, much better than tattoo guys. Oh, Arctic. Jeez.
Geskit uit die skoot van 'n Nederlandse boot, sy is ons moeder, ons mond, geaard in Kaapse grond, kooi en malei in haar keel.
I think Wope, Wat is Wope is much better.
Vryheid die mag van 'n vreemde vlag, sy spinne met die dagbreek.
Sounds all right. I'll listen to it. I'll probably fall in love with the song, but my initial reaction is doesn't get my attention. Mark says, I'm a great interviewer. Thank you for that, Mark. I appreciate that. He should be happy it wasn't a guinea fowl. Oh, God, those things do hit the windscreen hard. Aspiring to be a coloring book. Yeah, well, he is a coloring book, no doubt. Fast top musique, says Amerikaners. Okay. Well read, John. Because Donald Trump prioritized it. The other programs are not prioritized. It's in the executive order. It's plain English for those who read the executive order. Let me get that, by the way. Hang on. So it's, I got to find it now. I got all kinds of crap here. Here's part of the executive order. I think that's the other page. Okay, so, yeah, there it is right there. The Secretary of State and Secretary of Homeland Security shall take appropriate steps consistent with law to prioritize humanitarian relief, including admission and resettlement through the United States Refugee Admissions Program for Afrikaners in South Africa victims of unjust racial discrimination. Prioritize. Donald Trump has not prioritized any refugee program. There's your answer right there. It's the only refugee program that has been prioritized. So if nothing else, everything's routine and that one program is prioritized, guess where that puts you? The front of the queue. All right? Would never have pegged me as a hog. What is a hog? Russell Robinson, good evening to you. What is a hog? I have no idea what a hog is. I've not seen that acronym used in that fashion before. Now you're all laughing because I don't know what he's saying. All right, so if you're all going to be mean to me, I won't talk to you. We are a priority, yes.
Whoop. What is whoop?
Are you talking about the something gang? Look, I don't like everything Tom McDonald does, but I like a lot of what he does. Yep. Oh yeah, Hangover Gang. Okay, I see. I never seen that acronym, the Hangover Gang. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Garth, I do. But see, you guys, what you don't know about me would fill encyclopedias. I may share a lot of things on here. No, hog is not a pig, wicked one. Hangover Gang is what it is. Yep. Mac Maharaj says that things are in bad shape in South Africa. Yep, there you go. Democracy lacks evolution. It hasn't learned lessons from past mistakes. That's South Africa's democracy. Wow. He was speaking at the Ahmed Thrada Foundation's Youth Wing. He said, we learn more from our mistakes than from our achievements. And one of the problems that we are facing in South Africa is that government after government has only referred to its achievements. There are no achievements to refer to. There's a blockage in the system when discussing mistakes we've committed so that we can learn from them. 100% Mac Maharaj. Good to see you saying that. But, it would have been nice if you said this when you were in the Zoom administration and not let the theft take place. Yeah, Mac Maharaj is 89, Hendo. We're laughing at Tom, who may have been slapped with a wet newspaper. Mac is back. That's right. Yeah. Oh, Mark, stop talking about your big breakout. The return of the Mac. Somebody's got a mower going. Yeah. Mac Maharaj is back, man. Yes. And this is what we say for Mac Maharaj in tribute. Return of the Mac. Let's see if I've got music detected in your stream. No, they didn't catch that yet. Music detected in your stream. All right, yeah. So so it's Return of the Mac Maharaj. Return of the Mac. See, what you guys just don't know about me. I listen to that. I listen to all kinds of things. So I listen to all kinds of things. You might be surprised. Not much country, though. Not much country. Not my cup of tea. A little bit, but not much. God, Posh. No, it's Handel's Water Music Suite. I love the Water Music Suite. Dun, 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 dun. Yep, the Water Music Suite. Yep. Anyway, good stuff. All right, Culture Kernel. Yeah, I listen to everything. Rap, hip hop, pop, rock, techno. Not so much techno. New wave. I love new wave. Yeah. Anyway, Return of the Mac. Yeah. Man, I miss the 80s. Well, that wasn't the 80s, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah, tulips are almost in Australia. Or tulips are what? Huh? Well, the only reason I wouldn't boycott Scar, I just don't eat there because the food sucks. 25 years ago, the food was good, but not so much today. No, I've been to Spur. Ugh. Same like Panarottis. I used to love Panarottis, but ugh, it's kind of crap too. Yep. Well, we could do some German rap too. Was kommt denn da von Wusterkrak? Aus Frankfurt, Darmstadt, Offenbach. Was tut dem Bayern los? Wiesbaden so gnadenlos. Erbarmen, zu spät. Die Hesselkummer. Amadeus. Er war so populär, er war ein Superstar. Roy Orbison was pretty talented too. Yep. Right, Five Finger Death Punch. What the heck is that? Tulips aren't right wing. Where did that come from? See, Johann says Linda Krise, Wahrheit. Yeah, see, Wahrheit. In German, it's die Wahrheit. It's almost the exact same thing. Truth. Pink Floyd. Not a big Pink Floyd one, but I do like Another Brick in the Wall. Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. We don't need your education. How prophetic was that song? You don't need your mind control, thought control. Wow. That was really... Def Leppard, yeah. Yeah, Def Leppard before the kid lost his arm, yep. Nightwish. Night Ranger, but not Nightwish. Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Oh, that's your top queen now. Yep. Look behind you, the Tulips. Oh, yeah, I know. One of them, he's given up. he's pointing that way instead of going straight up. No, I'm aware of that. I tried to get him to stand back up. It didn't work. He wouldn't stand back up. I tried. It just didn't work. It didn't work, folks. It didn't work. I tried to convince it to stand up. It just wouldn't work. Anyway, what else? Let me get rid of this. Let me close that window and come back over here. There you go. Big cracks form. The GNU-DA demands ANC scrap Expropriation Act. That's the old news. Oh, well, this is old news too. I don't need this. Get rid of that one. Wow, I got too many windows up. Too many news reports. Okay, what's left now? Are we still there? Did I just close all my news? Oh, no. Say it ain't so, Joe. No, that's why I'm here. I had Mark Morrison and Return to the Mac. Yep. Oh, the Doors. I'm not a big fan. Everyone commenting on your tulips. One is heading southeast, Australia, and back. Oh, that's why. The rest are going straight to Australia. Not a Willie Nelson fan either. Her little tulip that couldn't. Ah, CCR, yeah. Creedence, yeah, now we're talking, man. Creedence, good stuff. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah, boy. Yep. Ooh, 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 looking out my back door. Yep, yeah. Have you ever seen the rain? I want to know. Yep. CCR was awesome, man.
Stuck.
Oh, that's an advert. What the heck is that? Somebody throwing their phone like it's a boomerang. Great stuff. CCR. Nazareth, nah. Okay. How come I never hear a Kung Fu fight? Oh, well, you missed it, G. Sorry, I did it recently. I just did it like 2 weeks ago. After I was trying to lighten up all the mood, we did it. Achy breaky heart. Nah, I'll pass. Not a fan. And his daughter, she's a wackadoodle too. Not my cup of tea. Billy Ray Cyrus, not my cup of tea. All right, folks, it's after 3 p.m. here on the East Coast, and it is now 9:15 in South Africa. I'm going to wrap it up here. I've got things to do. Got errands to run. I still haven't published that other video about the Oswald thing. I've got to get that done. So maybe tonight. Depeche Mode, yeah. Yep. People are people, so why should it be? You and I should get along so awfully. We are different colors, we are different creeds. Yeah, no, Depeche Mode had some good stuff. All right. Okay, guys, I'll look at your email and see if I can't figure it out. You guys have a good one. Take care of yourselves and be safe out there, okay? Nitty Gritty Dirty Band. There you go. Well, yeah, Tom Hawk, I just mentioned a whole bunch of American bands, didn't I? Cheers. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.
When you look at the